Oops, I put my camera on. Yeah, because it closed the game. Yeah. So I had to,
Well, thankfully this has not happened as often as in seasons past.
yeah, it looks like we're racing. I think maybe we were the problem then. I'm having the audio issue again. It does say I'm having connectivity issues, I think. There we go. Audio's fixed. Alright, well, we're racing, so let's go through the order quickly and we'll see where everybody's gone to. Fuzz is out. How did that happen?
Where am I? Why am I not in the race yet?
Oh, Fuzz has lost it on the exit there, so he's out. We have a VSC. I wonder if that's going to push anybody into the pits here. That would be very interesting. Are you not back in the,
No.
not in the race yet? You had to rejoin with the invitation you got?
I didn't get one.
Oh.
I was sitting there looking, waiting for one.
Oh, no, you just used the one from earlier. I'll send you one here.
Aha.
You can just use the same one and just...
Did not know that.
Yeah. Anyways, you should be good now. So, anyway, we're under VSC. We've got TTV Slasher up 5 spots. Asylum's up 5 spots. Jinnet's up 5 spots, so he's erasing a lot of the damage done. We have Seye still in 13th. You look up the grid. Puff's made up some ground. Jack's made up some ground. And we've got Rockstar and RC, the big losers at the moment, way down the field from where they started. Everybody's staying out for now. I wonder if anybody at the back might consider it. It just doesn't look like it's ready for wet tires yet, does it?
I'm still in the process of joining.
Well, the viewers can decide, but once you're here, I'm sure you'll see it's still fairly dry at the moment, but obviously we're going to end up on inters at some point, probably. Let's get onto the tire menu, and we're back with Rockstar at the back of the field, so let's find some action. We got Team Money putting some pressure on Adri here, and Scavney under serious threat from Slasher here. Slasher, one of the quicker Tier 2 drivers, I believe, so he looks like he's doing some damage here. Maybe making a case for promotion next year. Exhibit A. Look what happened when I raced in Tier 1. See, I fit here. Put me in. Put me in, coach.
I'm ready to play today.
Yeah, there you go. I was hoping you'd finish the line there. He says something about center field, too.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about music. We were only supposed to do that if nobody showed up tonight.
Yeah, we got 16, 17 guys here that are like, oh, well, 16. Oh, damn, Fuzz, come on.
Slasher with the DRS. Taking a look at Scavney, trying to make a name for himself here in a reserve role tonight. Team Money also putting pressure on Andrew, so let's keep an eye on that. Jinnet's made it by Joshua. Jinnet off to a good start here. Rockstar's gone back to the softs. I think maybe the softs are the better choice at the moment.
Interesting, Seye back in 13th set the fastest lap. That's unusual this early in the race. Usually the guys up front without any traffic in front of them will set those fastest laps.
There's a little bit of action at the back there. Asylum and Seye going wheel to wheel. We also got Jinnet putting the pressure on. He's really carving his way through the field at the moment. Fired up from that quali ban. He's ready to go racing, and he's on the charge, already in the points. P10. And an interesting race ahead of us. I'm sure it'll change. A whole lot's going to change by the end. And Jinnet getting himself further. Whoa, going for a very late move there. It's a tricky place to go wheel to wheel. We got a terrible camera angle from the race director there. We ended up missing most of the action. But Jinnet sticking it down the inside. I think there's room to have a look there. It just probably isn't going to work. Definitely understand why he did it. I think he just thought he saw a chance and seized the gap, you know?
Team Money looking to make a move on Adri coming down the front straight here. Oh, he decides better of it. And backs off.
There's
still DRS.
Seye. I think Asylum got by him. Joshua not making up any ground at the moment. Oh, Jack Prides is out. He's out. That's a safety car. Safety car.
Yes, it is.
Now we're going to spice it up.
Oh my, now
Oh
everybody's got to
my.
make their decisions.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
And everybody has time to think about it too.
Yep.
Rockstar is boxing. So Rockstar falling.
Oh, he's way back there.
Way
Good
back.
shout.
So yeah.
You know what? I would say by the time the safety car's over, it's probably going to be Inter time. And he's going for it, yeah?
Yeah.
They did say it was going to be full wet, so... Now, it'll be interesting if Rockstar gets it right, when some people stay out on dries. Oh, they're saying Say is glitched? T-Money says Say is glitched.
Oh, no. That's never fun for anybody.
I don't know if it's like maybe we're not seeing him at the same time. Like where he is for us is maybe not where T-Money is seeing him. This happens far too often with this game, I have to say.
Yeah.
Everybody pitting it looks like.
Yeah,
except
looks
for
like
T-Money stayed out. A lot of guys stayed out actually.
Well, I know T-Money pretty well, and he's got some pretty good strategies. So, I don't think this is a mistake on his part. I think that this is a calculated risk.
Well,
having seen the weather, himself having seen the weather, I think that this is a calculated risk on his part.
Well, it's definitely a risk. I mean, they're the only guys on softs, these three. But T-Money being at the front, if it's soft weather, if it's soft tire weather for a couple laps, T-Money might be able to find himself some ground, get away a little bit, and then make that pit stop. And these inters will burn up quick if it's not quite inter weather, and those guys are all going to be in trouble. I mean, almost everybody's on the inters, so if it's not the right tire, like, the guys on softs are laughing.
Great point, because I'm looking at the track, and I would not be able to tell that it's wet. There are very few spots that indicate that there might be water.
I don't see any spray either. There's no standing water.
Nope. So, Scabney stayed out on his tires, as so did Slasher. What happened to my detail? Oh, that's why. There we go. Yeah, so only the front three runners. Oh, no, actually, Jinnick is on the mediums in 9th, I'm sorry. And so he pitted and went on to the mediums. That's telling. Like you said, it may stay borderline slick tire racing for a while. And if it does, that certainly benefits the three guys up front and Jinnick back in the Very interesting.
I thought I saw a puddle or two on the track, but now that I'm looking at it, I don't think I really see it. I mean, it's still fairly bright out either. I wouldn't say it's very dark. There is some blue sky in the background.
Yeah, and usually the screen becomes pretty, you get the raindrops and you have a hard time seeing. That's not been the case to this point. Actually, maybe it's different for a spectator than it is for the driver. Never really considered that, but...
Yeah. I noticed Say disconnected. I wonder if it's because he heard us say that T-Money said he was glitched. I wonder if he's just like reconnecting during a safety car.
Not a bad thing to try to do here during a safety car.
No, I wouldn't blame him if that's the case, but I don't know if I saw him come back yet.
Yeah, so there are some spots that look kind of wet, I guess.
Yeah, I'm starting to see standing water, I think. Like, T-Money looks like he's not really handling the car very well at the moment. And I would say the guys on inters look a little more stable, if I have to say. Yeah, the guys on the softs look like they're just sort of gliding. And the guys on inters look like they actually have grip. Is that correct? Do you see the same?
It's hard for me to tell.
Okay, well, let's find out.
I guess
safety car's coming in, so... We're going to find out really quick who's on the right tire here. I'd be worried if I was on these softs right now. That's all I can say. Like, just based on my instincts, these don't look like the right tire for the track.
Well, you got to have the conviction. You decided to stay on the softs, you better give it a go.
Yeah.
And there goes Team Money.
Oh, man, the inters are quicker. Look. Rex is all over him. I think he's got more grip. Yeah, it's...
Yeah, Team
you know
Money
what?
went wide.
It's border... I think you said it right. It was borderline. But when it's borderline and it's raining still, the inters are always going to end up winning this battle. Like, Rex is all over these guys. So Team Money, I think if you're on the softs, you got to come in now. You need to see this and realize that there's no point in staying out here. Scavney goes wide. Big moment there for the Red Bull. Who was that? Fusions on the inters, unfortunately. He made a mistake. And he was in a really good spot, but now he's going to drop to the back of the field. Jinnit on medium tires that he just put on as well, which is interesting. That's very interesting.
He's made up a few positions. He came out on those tires in 9th place, so he's already made up a couple spots.
Interesting strategy there. Looks like Maverick. Let's get to the front here. Team Money trying to fend off Rex on those inter tires. And Maverick and Scavney going wheel to wheel just in the background there. These guys on the inters just seem to have the grip.
The inters attacking the soft tire drivers.
It's funny because the softs don't look that bad, but it's enough. Yeah, the contact there, Scavney and Maverick.
Wow, that was close. Yes, that was close.
Team Money's come in. He's had enough. He's seen enough. Scavney stayed out, so he's been passed now. I mean, if the rain stops suddenly, you might be okay on these dry tires.
Yeah, if only there was... I wonder... You can get accurate, radar forecast, something that was more than Jeff saying, rain for another 15 minutes, and then 10 minutes later says, rain for another 15 minutes, or vice versa, the other way around, where it's everything's great, and then rain 2 minutes later. So, but anyhow, I cut you off there. Go ahead.
Yellow.
Sorry.
No worries. I was just about to have a thought there. Rockstar looks like he's had a moment. I thought he was out, but he's okay actually. He's got going again.
Scavney's struggling.
Yeah, the dry tires just don't seem like they're the right one anymore. Jinnit's starting to slide a lot as well. And we got Fusions and Puff going wheel to wheel here. Puff trying to hang it on the outside. Again, the camera angles from the race director, not great here. So Puff weaseling his way through there. Oh, and there's... Oh, no! What on earth was he thinking? Oh, my goodness. That was never on there. Was that Adri?
Were you looking at Puff, or were you...
Yeah, Puff. Like, car came down the inside on that loopy hairpin part. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, I was on board with Puff. I didn't see what happened behind. I didn't realize he was tapped. I thought he kind of spun on his own.
Someone came down the inside and spun him. I think it was Adri, because Adri was stuck to him there. I don't know if he was the car that made the initial contact or not.
Yeah, these conditions really, I mean, you can be side by side and doing everything you can to avoid them, but, the cars glide on this track if you're not careful. Yeah. Oh, and there goes Scavney.
Yeah, he's lost it.
Yeah, he's got to get off those tires.
How did he not pit at the end of that lap? Stubborn.
Can always be hoping one more lap, get that caution, the safety car.
Mm-hmm.
He's skating. He's on dull skates out there. Yeah, he's... Prediction, Scavney is boxing for mediums. For enters.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know the advantage that the guys... So I don't know if staying out is going to give you much of a grip advantage over the guys that have had inters on for a while. But Puff gets by Adri. It was. I wonder if Adri let him through there because I don't think that was typically a place you'd see an overtake generally. Adri seems to have backed off a bit. Yeah. I think Adri's... Is he pitting because he's done?
Scavney is struggling trying to get to the pits even. Man, that sucks.
I think Adri's calling it. I don't know. He's
no, you can do it, Adri. Too.
No, I think he's maybe frustrated.
Well, that may be the case,
there?
but...
No. Someone spun at the back there. Was it RC? Oh no, maybe he just needed a wing or something. Because he is coming back out, it seems.
Yep, he went on to the inters. If you're talking about Scavney, he's going to tough it out.
Yeah, Scavney stayed out too long. It was okay for the first lap or two, but that third or fourth lap was just too detrimental to spin, and then once you've spun into the wet grass, like, your tires are absolute trash. There's nothing left.
You know, I guess, in all fairness, it really does, you know, Jeff talking in your ear, giving you the weather forecast, does play into your decision a lot of the times. And his weather reports are conflicted all the time.
Yeah.
So it's hard as a driver to make decisions based on what he's telling you.
So Puff's 8 seconds behind Bones now. Where was he roughly? Were they near Bones when they had that contact?
He was directly behind Jennett before Jennett boxed.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I've lost track. Yeah.
Jennett. Yeah, and I think at the time Jennett was maybe in 4th. So Puff maybe lost a couple of positions.
Well, he definitely lost a lot there. I mean, he was spun into the grass, so I don't think you can...
Well, the great thing about these types of races is it can happen to anybody at any time, so you can't give up. You can't give up. So the penalties are starting to add up. Let's see, what are the penalties? 6 seconds for Fusions, 3 seconds for Asylum, Bones, T-Money, Jennett, and Adri. So Fusion's leading in penalty seconds with 6. Not what you want to be leading in. However, he's almost got that covered, and he does have that covered.
So pretty much everyone in Inters now, it looks like it's a proper wet race. And looking at the intervals here, it looks like this battle with Joshua, Asylum, and Bones. Look at Joshua right outside the podium there. Actually, he's technically on the podium at the moment. What did I say?
Yeah, that was one of yours.
Yeah.
I think you said Rex, Josh.
I said Rex, Maverick, and Fusions. One of Maverick and Fusions would be a lock. I don't know which one. One of them will have something go wrong, or penalties. Fusions right now will pick up penalties and get pushed out. Joshua is on the podium.
And Josh doesn't get very many penalties. Don't make many mistakes.
No, I think he's going to be fine there, actually. And Asylum and Bones, even if they get by, are on penalties too, so... This actually might work really nicely for Puff. Puff's going to be able to go for a while. He's got clear air. Guys in front of him have penalties. The one thing that happened with Puff at the spin is he didn't pick up penalties, so if he can close back up, Joshua kind of holding these guys up at the moment. Puff can make up some ground here if he doesn't have damage.
Is it me, or does the rain look like it's coming down a little harder?
It's definitely, yeah, I was going to say, like, it's definitely a wet race at this stage. I think there's a lot of standing water. The rain's coming down a little heavier now. I think this is going wet to the end now. I do wonder if Joshua had a wet setup, because he was going pretty slow when it was dry. Now he seems to have found a lot of pace.
Yeah, I tell you, it takes a lot of guts to do that, to go with a setup, a wet setup, when it's still questionable whether it will be wet or not. And yeah, so if he did, kudos to him. It's working out well for him right now. P4 and no penalties and keeping up with Fusions, probably closing in on him a little bit.
Asylum had a bit of a moment there and Bones got through. Bones now putting some pressure. I wonder if they just switched places maybe so they could try to, you know, maybe Asylum. Maybe Bones said, hey, I'm a tier 1 guy, let me up there, let me give me a crack at this guy. I mean, he's racing in tier 1, Asylum's filling in. You know, let your teammate go have a shot.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
It's a gentlemanly move by Asylum there, if that's the case.
So, DRS is still active.
And Asylum, I think he's had enough. Now he's tucking back in.
No, and I think you're right. I think that he is recognizing that this is Bones' race, not his, as far as being his teammate.
Looking at this battle here, T-Money, Say, and Jinnet's shaking up nicely, so let's check in with that. T-Money defending into turn 1. Has it covered for now. Say has to tuck back in, and Jinnet sitting 13th. So these guys are fighting for potential points here.
Ooh.
We got Rockstar
Team
making a nice move. Wide. Beautiful overtake there from Rockstar. Rockstar's actually been driving really nice the last couple weeks. The last race he did really well moving through the field, and he had some nice clean racing. Oh, he's got no helmet.
So Say did a little switchback on T-Money. Was able to overtake him. T-Money went a little deep going into turn 6, I think it is.
Yeah, T-Money's gone deep again. So I'm struggling a bit there. Yeah, Rockstar, helmetless wonder. Adri's out. Where did he crash?
Yeah.
Oh,
all right, so that's just not me.
No, I think he's in the pit. Just called
the helmetless wonder.
Yeah,
it looked like he just had the like the fireproof skin over his head.
Yeah, that's all he's got. How long's this game been out? 10 months? 9 months, 10 months?
So Adri, unfortunately, he scored himself a 5-second penalty, speeding into pit lane, I believe it was.
I think he's called himself out of the race here. He's retired, I believe. Oh, sorry, was it you say T-Money that picked up the penalty?
No, I'm sorry. I said Scabney, I think. I meant Adri if I did say Scabney.
Yeah, Adri's out. I think you did say Adri, because I was going to say he's taking himself out of the race for the night there. I thought he was going to do that the last time he pit, but maybe he was thinking about it still.
Oh, that sucks. Again, really, I mean, you can't give up. In a race like this, really, as much as it sucks to drive around in this, I mean, if you really wanted to score some points, you never know what's going to happen. There's still 17 laps left to go. 18 laps, so...
Yeah. Joshua's still holding these guys up. Puff now starting to take time out of them, so... It's good news for Puff. Puff fans rejoice. There is a chance. It would be a hell of a drive if Puff can get ahead of these guys after being spun in the wet weather. If he 4 or 5, I think he'd be pretty happy with that after what happened earlier.
Yeah. And, you know, caution flag, he's right back in it.
Yep, safety car will definitely shake things up at this stage. You see, I mean, you just look at the track map there. All the cars are so far spread. There's little groups, but besides that, there's not a whole lot going on. Bones taking a look, and he finally sends it. Joshua does not want to yield that place, leaving plenty of space for one another. Joshua had to use the curbs to get on the gas, and he's struggling a little bit on that. Say's called it a night.
Oh.
Bones gets it. So Bones finally free.
Great Joshua. Stuff. Just great stuff.
Yeah, that was a good little scrap between those two. And actually, I think the Tier 2 reserves don't count, so even if Asylum finishes ahead here, Joshua still gets that place anyway. Another yellow. It looks like that's Say's car coming out of the pit lane. Probably just going to pull off. Hopefully no issues.
Say's got a nasty headache, so he can't play.
Yeah, he did say that right before the race.
Yeah, so... Well, that's too bad.
It wasn't... Yeah. You never want to see anyone give up, but if you're not feeling great and you're not having a great race, it's just, sometimes you're just like, I just got to go.
Yep. Well, he gave it an effort. He showed up, and unfortunately for him, he couldn't finish. But I think the guys are more receptive to something like that versus just not showing up at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anyone chastised for parking in the pit lane and calling it a night.
Yep.
Not once. It's just...
Yeah, I don't think you can get even scorned for, poor sportsmanship for something like that.
No, that's the whole point. They say if you want to race here and you're not having a good night and you're the type of person that just decides you're not going to race anymore because you're fed up, you want to keep showing up here every week, then you go in the pit lane and retire there because, people crashing into the walls on track is just very, very poor sportsmanship. And we've seen it happen. Yep. It's not tolerated lightly.
No, and that's what makes this league strong.
Oof.
One of the many reasons that makes this league so strong.
Mm-hmm. Asylum sent it there.
I was going to say, I do see plenty of standing water out there now.
Yeah.
Off of the racing line, but it's creeping onto the racing line in place.
You think the wets could be in play?
If it keeps raining like this, I would think so. And again, to me, it seems like it's raining just a little bit harder again. It's not letting up, that's for sure.
Asylum's really sticking his nose in there. Joshua's got to be a little worried about that. Yeah, you know what though? We've seen a lot of rain, and I think if it's inter-running and it gets heavier, generally you can get away with staying on the inters. The thing that might come into play is a change of inters, because how many laps have we done now? We got 12 laps on 13 on some of these. I would think that if you're going to pit now, kind of is the time. Because I think by the end of the race, it's still going to be inters. I don't think the rain's going to get torrential. And these will slowly wear. I mean, 12, 13 laps on inters, they're going to be wearing.
Mm-hmm.
If someone like Bones, maybe he gambles and stays out. Because he will get ahead of the guys at the front if they pit. And he stays out and can manage to get to the end and keep them behind. He could maybe win the race.
Yeah, so, boy, I mean, if you're Rex, you're 4 seconds ahead. Car feels good, tires feel good. I would assume you just stay out there.
Yeah, I
right?
think so.
I mean,
Rex,
there's no reason to box.
I don't think Rex will, but I'm thinking maybe someone like Maverick or Fusions might.
That was going to be my question. Where down the line would, which would be the first guy to decide, I got a box? Right now, Bag of Bones is the first driver that's got... I'm sorry, Fusions is ahead by 13 seconds over Bag of Bones. I don't know where that brings him out, but then, like you said, Maverick's even another 3 seconds ahead of that. I don't know what the pit delta is here, but it's usually not much more than 20 seconds any place you go, and I think this is a fairly quick one. So maybe 15 to 18 second pit delta. So if that were true, then, Fusions, yeah, that can't be true.
I would say, I always just kind of go with 20 as a rough...
20
as a rough guess. So if you're Maverick, you've got 16 seconds to Bag of Bones, roughly. Next car back is another 3.5. So you're probably coming out in front of Joshua. You only have to overtake one car, and you're right back to where you were, basically.
And of course, you need to also factor in Jeff might be telling you what the weather forecast is too.
Yeah.
Now, if Jeff is telling you, this light rain continue for the next 5 to 10 minutes or whatever, or 10 minutes,
Yeah.
15 minutes even.
Joshua having a huge moment there. Asylum putting some pressure on him. Asylum's doing a nice job, actually. Chasing down for P5 here, Tier 2 driver. Putting in a good performance here in Tier 1 tonight, so I think he'll be happy with that.
Don't look now. Puff Digital is
I
only
know.
2 seconds behind. He has been steadily climbing.
Yeah, I just saw a car in the background. I'm like, oh my god, is that Puff? It is. Puff is back.
Yeah, he's made up like 2 or 3 seconds over the last 2 or 3 laps. So I don't know if it's because of Asylum and Josh battling in front of him, but he's doing very, he's catching them, obviously.
Yeah, and if you look at penalties, Puff's in a good spot to capitalize on those if he can get anywhere near Bones. Could end up in P4 here.
Do you think that this is a race that Puff is saying to himself, I'm staying on these tires all the way to the end?
I think Puff, I would think after that spin, and I mean, here we are with 11 laps to go. Are you going to make up a pit stop in 11 laps? I don't think you're going to.
No.
Because no one's struggling at the moment. Nobody's struggling with their tires enough that you're going to gain a significant amount that it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the Inters and wet tires are a little more durable than the other tires, so in the wet weather you can kind of drag them out longer and you get better performance later into their life as well.
So Puff has made up another 4/10 of a second in that lap.
Yeah, Joshua's doing him a huge favor here.
Yeah, he's loving seeing these 2 guys in front of him battle.
Yeah.
Nothing more fun than reeling in the fish.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely.
Something he will be worried about, though, is the cars behind him are not that far away. Rockstar, Slasher, and Jinnet's not far off them either. So Puff can't waste time if he wants to capitalize on this opportunity. He needs to get ahead of these guys. We have a spin. It looks like T-Money. Yeah, T-Money's gone around back there in Sector 2, I believe, or at the end of Sector 1.
So Asylum did have a moment there coming around, I think, turn 3.
He did, yeah.
Coming out of turn 3, and that allowed Puff to get right up close, and so now it's a 3-way battle for 5th.
Yeah, Puff right in the mix now. And Puff was pretty quick earlier in the Grand Prix, so I think Puff might have a good shot at getting by these guys, but it's going to be tough with the double slipstream there.
Particularly if he feels that he's confident with the car setup, and Josh goes a little deep, he's got to be invigorated after having spun and getting back to this point here. Again,
whoa, here it goes. Asylum, the outside here. I think Joshua defended that line earlier and lost out, but this time he's on the inside and he keeps the corner.
Wow.
Brilliant stuff from these 2.
Yep. And again, for Asylum, he was off track. He didn't just bolt back on the track. He was very measured in making sure he came back on track without, affecting Josh's race line. So that's good to see. And now, of course, Asylum may be looking back more than forward.
It looks like he's about to come under pressure here.
Maverick with a 3-second penalty.
It's actually turned into quite a little battle here because 3 cars have just joined the party. It is going to get very interesting here. I could see this ending in tears for somebody.
So, if you look a little more closely, Rockstar, TV Slasher, and Jinnet are all within half a second of each other, pretty much. So this is a train. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on. Great stuff, I'm sure.
Somebody's going to get desperate. Oh, I thought it was about to happen there. Slasher taking a look. Yeah, look at this. Asylum and Puff all over Joshua here. It's getting very interesting.
Josh seems to have a hard time getting through turn 3. Turn 3. He's gone deep a couple times now.
Jinnit looking to make a sneaky move at the back here. He's right on Rockstar. Look at this scrap we've got. This is the kind of thing we're hoping to see later on in the race. Fighting for big points here, too. Like, this is for P5. Bones did himself a huge favor getting through this group. Look how far up the road he's gone.
Oh, Rockstar goes wide and Jinnit sneaks in underneath him.
Now Puff's falling into the clutches of the behind group here.
His tires are 3 laps older.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of an effect that is having him, but having on him, I should say.
Slasher is really putting pressure on Puff here. Puff going to use that slipstream, try and defend. Really under threat. It looks like he's got a slippery setup, though, because he's gotten away a bit down the straight.
Yep. Yeah, Slasher didn't seem to be closing in at all.
No.
Oh, he's going for the loop on the inside. Oh, careful.
I don't think Puff is letting that one go easy. Clearly.
No, and you know what?
Oh, and Jinnit and Slasher now wheel to wheel. A little bit of a wobble, and Rockstar smartly kicks himself out of the way just to make sure he doesn't run into the back of anybody. I think.
You know, I have to say, Slasher, that was a great drive on his part. He did make a move, and he realized it was probably a little too aggressive and backed out of it, and he didn't hurt himself or Puff, and still maintained his position, even though he got a little squiggly. So, great driving.
Yeah, it was good stuff, and I don't think Puff was about to let a reserve guy get in front of him when he's got points ahead of him that he can get. You know, like, you don't need Slasher in your way when you're in striking distance of P5. Whoa! No, that was never on.
Oh,
Asylum. Man. That was never on.
Yeah,
a day late and $1 short.
Oh,
our good friend Martin
Slasher kind of got a little Slasher got a little squiggly out of the next to last turn, and Jinnit got by.
Yeah, Slasher in position to possibly fight this back, though. He looks like he's got a little bit of a toe here. He is closing slightly on Jinnit. Jinnit probably just pumping that battery a little bit.
And DRS is still active. At least that's what I saw when I was riding on board with Slasher.
I do wonder if Joshua maybe picked up damage from that, too, because that was a pretty hard slam into the side of his car. Oh, Jinnit very late on the brakes there. Gets the outside line.
Careful.
Puff leaves him plenty of space. Good little amount of respect there between those two, leaving room for one another. And Puff on the outside line now. Jinnit.
Oh, my, no.
Oh, no, they've touched. Jinnit's gone. Oh, no, Jinnit saved it. I thought Jinnit lost the car. I thought I saw the back end gone.
He did lose it.
He saved that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as bad as you want to say this game is at times, I mean, you see stuff like that. Jinnit driving in the UK, Puff in Canada, and they're able to race literally millimeters apart.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's hard to critique something like that, but brilliant. Good stuff, though. Jinnit trying to come back now. So he's got that battery charged up nicely. He's deploying, and he is closing. Is he going to get enough? He's enough to go down the inside here. He's alongside. He's going to go for that. I think Puff smartly just going to tuck in. He's not going to fight that. Doesn't want to lose too much and make himself susceptible to the guys behind. Really, if Jinnit goes through, then Puff's kind of back in position to maybe get in front of Joshua. Asylum's taking himself out of the mix here. I have to say, it was a classic Brundle day late, $1 short. He was never getting that done. Never.
I have to clarify. I was in error. I was saying the DRS was still on when I was seeing the ERS being used. So my bad.
Yes.
DRS has probably been off pretty much the entire race.
Yeah, most of it, I would think. I think maybe, yeah, because it never really got activated. It started raining early, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, we did see it a few laps, I think. Lap 3, I remember seeing it.
Oh, Josh again goes a little wide. Jinnit trying to get to the inside. Going to do the switchback, Jinnit. He's trying for the switchback, and ooh,
oh, he runs into the back of Joshua.
Just touched him a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, great job by Jinnit by not really crashing into him. You could see that he wasn't going to make it and kind of let up.
Yeah.
Now Josh has got to protect that inside no matter what.
Yeah, he has to. He can move back across and cover that. He does a nice job of it, actually.
Oh,
and Jinnit with a huge switchback. Did Joshua make a mistake there?
Yes, Josh broke late, and he's lost 2 more positions after Jinnit, so he's dropped to P8.
Yeah, I think Jinnit's switchback caught him off guard, and he just kind of outbroke himself. I think there was room for Jinnit to try that, though. I don't think he was out of sorts or anything.
Oh, no, not at all. It really looked, from my point of view, that Josh just completely missed his break point.
Yeah.
Trying to outbrake Jinnit, and unfortunate for him, but he's still there. He's still right behind Slasher, so.
Jinnit caught him with his pants down there, and he was like, oh no. He thought because he did a great job sweeping back across to cover that. Oh, Timo's been disqualified. Too many penalties.
Oh,
that's
my.
Unfortunate. At least he stayed in there.
How do we miss him getting that many penalties? Damn. Well, that sucks.
Yeah. I guess we didn't really notice.
So, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there's only 5 laps left.
That's okay. We're on target for our 9:30 finish. No safety cars tonight. That's good news. Puff Digital, the only guy without penalties at the moment, but he is he's 1.5 behind Jinnit. Sorry, I guess Joshua and Rockstar don't have penalties either, but
yeah, okay. All right, good.
I meant all the front runners here, but Jinnit's in range. The other guys are a little out of reach. But Bones actually did an incredible job after making that overtake just to get away from this group. He's really saved himself a lot here. He's 12 seconds up the road.
Following along with Fusion's here, trying to determine whether he has a shot at Maverick. He's been within 8/10, but it's dropped to a second at different points of the track. So I don't know if he's still got the time to get to Maverick.
Yeah.
But he's in his rearview mirror.
Puff also looking to try and drop Slasher. He's gotten close a couple times, but Slasher's just hanging on. Just inside that second range. Rockstar looking for a way through on Joshua. So Joshua's just been slowly tumbling down the order throughout the race. He was up, P4 earlier, and just kind of got picked off slowly, and that little incident he had cost him a couple spots. I think if he hadn't messed up there's a good chance he'd still be at the front of this group.
Yeah, I was going to say, he doesn't make many mistakes. I think that he's dropped back because of mistakes that he's made. Unforced errors, if you will. I haven't seen them all, but I know that one I did see was certainly on him. But as we know, Josh doesn't make many mistakes, but I think tonight is one of those nights where he's made a couple and it's dropped him back in the standings a little bit.
Puff is like literally just outside the range of Jinnit's penalties. Jinnit's got 6 seconds now, so Jinnit has to do a little more work to try and drop Puff now. Puff, I think it only was 3 seconds earlier. Now it's 6. So Puff's in range for P5. Slasher trying to get ahead here. Slasher also carrying a penalty, so Puff can afford not to fight this too hard and just kind of fight this.
Yeah,
he does fight it though. He hangs on. Nice job from Puff there. You don't want to get stuck behind a guy though, right? Like, you know, and you lose that delta you need. I think that's what he's feeling at the moment.
And if you push, you got to be measuring the desperation of the driver behind you as well.
Yeah.
Balancing, knowing how many penalty seconds they have, how many laps are left, who the driver is, and how they've been driving.
Asylum just made a really nice move on Joshua, so he redeems himself from that clumsy incident earlier and gets an overtake done. Really nice. Pulled out late, went down the inside, nice and controlled. Joshua left him space, and he gets the move done. So good to see after the little bit of a tangle earlier.
So yeah, P3, 4, and 5 have 6 seconds in penalties. I don't know if Puff is going to be able to capitalize on more than just big.
No.
Yeah, he won't be able to get any more than that unless there's a mistake.
He's a little too far. He's 5 seconds behind Jinnit, and Jinnit, let's get the penalties up now, it matters for this final lap. Jinnit, 6 seconds of penalties, Puff 4.8 off, so Puff needs to stay.
There's 2 laps left, right?
Yeah, it's this lap and then one more. And Jinnit's nearly dropped Puff here, but hasn't quite done it yet. Puff cannot afford to be squabbling with Slasher at the moment.
No, and I think you're right. That's where his focus has to be right now. He needs to keep him behind him.
Yeah. I mean, he can't afford for Slasher to get in front, but the having to put your car in a defensive spot is costing him tenths that he needs.
Yeah. I think under dry conditions, maybe you do, and then you use the slipstream.
Yeah, the DRS.
But you never know. You don't want to get caught behind somebody in the rain like this, and they start holding you up. And this late in the race, every second counts.
Tight. It's going to be tight. Puff racing the delta here. It looks like Slasher's just starting to lose contact a bit. Puff 6 seconds behind Jinnit now, though, so Jinnit currently holds on to P5. See if Puff can take a little out of him.
So, Fusions has caught onto the back of Maverick here. He's only half a second behind him, so Maverick's got to be a little worried.
Fusion's in striking distance, absolutely. Does have more penalties, though.
Oh, you're right. Yep, and I have that right up in front of me. Didn't really pick up on that.
Oh, Puff is just tickling that gap he needs. It is so close. Jinnit puts a foot wrong. Puff's got it. Puff puts a foot wrong. He's lost it. That's your winner, Rex.
Doesn't Puff already have him? Or do I have my
6.3 interval? I think you might have the... So Rex wins it. Maverick takes P2. Fusions,
you're right.
P3. Bones. Can he bring it home in P4? He's well on his way. Puff has lost the gap he needs. Unless he's really saving his battery and he could find 3/10 here. He's close.
He's got 30% battery.
Well, he's got to use it. Bones, better use it up. It ain't any good after we cross the line.
Right now, 37%. Let her go.
Here comes Jinnit.
He's not doing it.
Jinnit's weaving, though, and he's cost himself a bit of time by doing that, potentially.
Oh, and Puff held off. He was not willing to...
Oh, no. A tenth and a half off.
He was not willing to use that DRS going through the last turn there, and understandably so. You got to be careful with the DRS. You can...
Yeah.
It gives you that little extra power going through turns, and it can catch you off guard.
All right, well, overall, pretty entertaining race. Lots of good battles throughout the field. Ended up being not so bad. Was expecting a low turnout. We ended up with quite a few cars and a lot of good battles, so it's good to see. Rockstar does a nice job getting a P7. Slasher and Asylum had a pretty good showing. Asylum had that one kind of clumsy little incident there, but besides that, he was racing really hard and clean, so good showing from those two, picking up points in reserve role. Obviously, the points don't count, but nonetheless, top 10 finish. So look at that. You got those on sale. 80% off.
Yeah, that's the 2020 game.
Yeah. All right. We got 8 minutes. Who's our interviews? Maverick, Rex, and Fusions. All right. Let's get those guys in. Just gonna run through the order quickly. Make sure we get the full thing. 30 seconds of penalties for T-Money. He got 10 3-second penalties. So the stewards had seen enough.
Yeah, he must have got frustrated and just... It's tough. When things start to slip away from you, it's really easy to just say, F this. I'm done. Not that he did that, but you're battling that regardless. When stuff start going against you, whether you give into it or not, it's still a battle emotionally to try to, keep your focus on the race, not just getting out of the race.
Right. Fusions. What's something going here? T-Rex. I don't think I've added him yet, have I? Oh, there he is. Yeah, I did add him. There he is. Fusions, get in here. Alright, I've added them. Can't add some players because of their settings. If anybody has Fusions, can you add them to the party? Because it says I can't add them.
I think I do. I know I do. I don't know if I'm going to... You got him? I'm not the fastest guy when it comes to this kind of stuff. Fusions. Does he have like... There he is.
Okay, so we're... I think it's just because he's not on my friends list. You probably can't throw him in the party chat or something.
No, he's here.
Oh, he's in? Alright. Well,
yep. Fusions just joined. Okay. Alright, gentlemen. Congratulations. Fusions. You got third place. Are you happy with that?
I mean, the spin kind of screwed me over, but it is what it is. I was hoping for Maverick to get another penalty because I was gonna get 3 seconds removed, but it's no point even trying anymore. I was a little faster. I think I had more downforce than him, but he just gained all the time back up in the straightaways, so it was just pretty even the whole race. Yeah, other than that, kind of boring to be honest.
So what was the weather forecast going into the race?
It was weird because the track was dry, but it said it was raining like on the forecast, so I mean, yeah, it was just kind of weird. So we had to start on our tires in qualifying. I thought we were going to go straight on inters, but did a couple laps and then it just started to get wet. It's a good thing. I was just kind of waiting for Rex to see if he was going to pit, and then he pit, and then I followed him, and it ended up being the right time to pit, so it worked out, but I spun, and then I managed to catch back up, but then I got third.
Well, nice recovery. It's very easy to get frustrated in the rain like this and to just kind of tune out, so to speak. So great job keeping your focus and getting back into it and getting yourself a podium.
Thanks.
All right, so let's go to Maverick.
Oh,
Maverick, congratulations, P2.
thank you.
Take us through your qualifying and then what that meant going into your race.
Qualifying, I knew since it was going to rain in the race, I know I just, you know, I didn't have to save a set of softs if there was a safety car late in the race, so um, I was just going to go out there, set 3 laps, see how high I can get, and then obviously it didn't matter, you know, how worn those softs were. We were going to start on inters, and then we didn't start on inters. Um, but yeah, quali went okay. I think the only reason I started this high is because the 2 regular Mercedes drivers aren't here, and then Packer wasn't here. So, I mean, I think if everybody showed up, I probably would have been somewhere in the lower top 10 qualifying. But I'm happy to take a P3 in qualifying and a P2 in the race.
Well, it doesn't matter about the people that don't show up. It's the people that do show up. And so you were here, and you've earned P2. So, again, great job. Was there any point in the race? So there was actually, you know, Bigga and I were talking about. I think it was about when everybody was about like 13 lap old enters around that time frame. What was going through your mind? Were you contemplating, you know, boxing, getting onto some fresh enters, or, you know, what were you thinking?
I remember asking Jeff what the tire, or like what the remaining pit strategy was, and he said we're going to take the tires to the end of the race, and I mean that was right as I came out of the pits on the inters when the safety car came out. So I knew I wasn't going to be pitting again.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I would be pitting if there was a safety car, and I mean even then that wasn't until maybe about lap 25, you know, those last 10 laps once we pulled out, or once I had like a 20-second gap to 4th place, and I know I could get that free pit stop in and still maintain my position.
Nice. Well, let it be noted that we have one driver that has placed faith in Jeff Maverick tonight. He did place faith in what Jeff told him. So, again, congratulations, Maverick, all kidding aside. Great job. Way to fight through the rain. So let's move on to the winner, T-Rex. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
You feel pretty good out there?
Oh, not when it first started raining. I kind of struggled on the inters, but once it started getting a little wet, the pace came in. I was running a compromise, basically a dry to wet setup kind of mixture, so quality wasn't the best, but it was the best I could probably do on that setup. But during the race, it was just making sure I just do consistent laps, which I felt like I was pretty happy doing with that. But other than that, it was just making no mistakes. Didn't really want a penalty, but it was kind of after like that last like 10 laps, I was like, if there's a safety car, I'm gonna just stay out.
You're going to stay out, yeah. Yeah, we kind of figured that it got to the point where it was, there was no point in pitting, even if there were a caution, a safety car. However, of course, as you know, I mean, it depends really on timing of everything. But you were like 2 or 3 seconds up for most of the race, it seems. That must have, you must have just felt like, all right, I just need to focus on solid laps, no mistakes. You know, keep these guys behind me. They're battling behind me. So, with that in mind, how do you drive? Most drivers are trying to go fast all the time. If you have to drive measured, does that change your? How does that work?
It's just I usually push, but not to the limit where I feel like I'm gonna make a big costly mistake. So just as soon as it enters, it was just getting those consistent laps, pushing but not pushing to the limit, trying to be safe but getting that lap time consistently. And I felt like I was doing that. I was gaining a gap, especially when it started to rain a little bit more, because I was running a little bit higher wings. But it was just more of a pushing, but not to the limit, but not relaxing.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. P1. Who got the fastest lap? Do you guys know?
I did.
Yeah, congratulations for that
He
too.
knows.
All right, so Big, any questions for these guys?
No, I'm all good. Ready to wrap it up for the night. If you guys are good.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm all set.
All right, sounds good. All right, well, that's it for round 14, Tier 1, Season 7, Zenith Online Racing. You can catch round 14 in Portugal for Tier 2 Wednesday night and Tier 3 on Thursday night. And we will be back next week for round 15. Where are we going?
We are going
Nobody knows.
USA.
Usually Packer knows. Is it
China.
Coda.
Oh yeah, USA.
USA? All right, perfect. USA. Going to your home, GP. You got to get extra drinks for next week.
Yeah, okay.
All right, sounds good. And that's it for the night. We'll catch you guys next week.
See you guys. Hey, congratulations again, driver.